Ôi trời, tắt cái điện. Ây, lâu lắm không nói tiếng Anh, ôn thi một chút. Mình nói trước nữa đến đâu rồi? Free time. Free time. Cho chót. Tiêu đề 3. Tiêu đề 4. Ôm chắc mình làm được nhiều phép rồi đây. Ok. 12. Okay. Do you enjoy drawing or painting? Did you learn to draw or paint at school? What kinds of things do you like to draw or paint? Do you prefer drawing with pencil or painting with colors? Have you ever visited an art gallery or an art exhibitions or gallery? Okay, now I will provide you with some questions and also with my answers, and I would like you to 就是 I would like you to 叫做个别 I would like you to base on my answers and provide a more native and a more native and a more 就是 a more fluently answers a more fluent, a more native and a more suitable answers. Do you understand? And also my aim for speaking is IELTS 7.5 or 8. Do you understand my requirement?
Absolutely. I fully understand your requirement. You can provide your IELTS-related questions and your draft answers, and I'll polish them to sound more native, fluent, and suitable for a band 7.5 to 8 level, making sure the language is natural. The logic is clear, and it meets the IELTS speaking assessment criteria, fluency and coherence. lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy, pronunciation related wording. Go ahead and share your first question and answer draft. 去应用商店升级最新版本。
Question 1. Do you enjoy drawing or painting? Um, I think the answer should be yes. I think I have some natural, natural talent for drawing and painting, and also, the sense of aesthetics like that. And in the past, like when I was a little girl, I was really like drawing, and my mom and dad bought a lot of drawing materials like paintings, uh, painting or drawing colors, crayons like that for me, and I really enjoy that. And as a more and as I was growing up, I also kept painting and drawing as a part of my hobby. Like when I have free time, I usually drawing, and I was really like the style of Japanese animations and manga. And also when I was at high school, I planned to study in architecture university in Vietnam, but my parents didn't support that, so I give up my dream. And now, to be honest, I don't really have much time to draw and paint, but if I do have free time, I think I really want to come back, you know, to draw something or just paint something, to go back to the time when I was really enjoy um, that activity.
Certainly. Here's a polished IELTS Band 7.5 to 8 version of your answer, with natural flow, precise vocabulary, and varied sentence structures. Do you enjoy drawings or painting? Yes, I definitely do. I think I have a natural aptitude for drawing and painting, and I also have a good eye for aesthetics. When I was a little girl, I was absolutely obsessed with it. My parents even bought me all sorts of art supplies like crayons and paints to fuel my interest. As I grew older, I kept it up as a hobby, and I'd often spend my free time sketching or painting, especially since I'm a big fan of Japanese anime and manga styles. Actually, I even planned to study architecture at university in Vietnam when I was in high school because it combines art and design in such a fascinating way. Unfortunately, my parents didn't support that idea, so I had to let go of that dream. These days, I don't have much spare time for drawing or painting, but whenever I get a chance, I'd love to pick it up again. It always takes me back to those carefree, creative moments from my childhood. This version improves your answer by 1. Replacing casual phrases, for example, with formal yet natural expressions. 2. Using advanced vocabulary, for example, aptitude, aesthetics, fuel my interest, carefree. 3. Fixing grammatical errors, for example, usually drawing gives would often spend my free time sketching. Doesn't gives didn't. 4. Adding smooth transitions to enhance.
Okay, you just I'm just require you to give me a more improved versions. But I don't want to you. I don't want you to give other suggestions. Okay, I give you question and answer, and my answer, and you answer me by providing a more better versions. Is that okay? And also, I think you give me the answers maybe just, I think just too difficult, you know? You can improve it, but don't use too hard or too difficult to advanced vocabulary, because I think in speaking is not that important. The important is fluency.
Do you enjoy drawing or painting? Yes, I definitely do. I think I have a natural talent for drawing and painting, and I also have a good sense of aesthetics. When I was a little girl, I was really into it. My parents bought me all kinds of art supplies, like crayons and paints, and I loved using them.
Okay. Um, do you enjoy drawing and painting? Yes, I definitely do. I think I have a natural aptitude for drawing and painting, and I also have a good eyes for aesthetics. So when I was a little girl, I was absolutely obsessed with it. My parents even bought me all sorts of art supplies like crayons or paints and to fuel my interest. And as I grew older, I kept it up as a hobby, and I often spend my free time sketching or painting. And especially since I'm a big fan of Japanese anime and manga styles. And actually, I even plan to study architecture at university in Vietnam when I was in high school. But unfortunately, my parents didn't support that idea, so I had to let go of that dream. And these days, to be honest, I don't have much free time for drawing and painting. But whenever I get a chance, I love to pick it up again.
Do you enjoy drawing or painting? Yes, I definitely do. I think I have a natural talent for drawing and painting, and I also have a good sense of aesthetics. When I was a little girl, I was really into it. My parents bought me all kinds of art supplies, like crayons and paints, and I loved using them. As I grew up, I kept drawing and painting as a hobby. Whenever I had free time, I'd sit down and sketch something, especially since I'm really fond of Japanese anime and manga styles. Actually, when I was in high school, I planned to study architecture at a university in Vietnam because it's such a creative field that combines art and design. But my parents didn't support that plan, so I had to give up that dream. These days, I don't have much spare time for drawing or painting, but if I ever get the chance, I'd love to pick it up again. It would take me back to those really happy, carefree moments from my childhood. Would you like to provide your next IELTS speaking question and draft answer for me to polish?
Grew older. Architecture. Question one: do you enjoy drawing or painting? Yes, I definitely do. Yes, I definitely do. I think I have a natural aptitude for drawing and painting, and I also have a very good eyes for aesthetics. So when I was a little girl, I was absolutely obsessed with it. And my parents even bought me a lot of, all sorts of art supplies such as crayons and paints, to fuel my interest. And when I grow older, I still give it up as my hobby. I spend a lot of my free time for scratching and painting, and I also a big fan of Japanese anime and manga styles. And actually, I even planned to study architecture in a university in Vietnam, but my parents doesn't support that ideas. so I have to let go of that dream. And this day, to be honest, I don't have much free time for drawing and painting, but whenever I get a chance, I would love to pick it up again. Did you learn to draw or paint at school? Question 2. Did you learn to draw or paint at school? Well, yeah, I think the answer should be yes. But because arts is not a compulsory in school, it's just like a non is a because it's a non-academic subject at school. So the teachers she doesn't taught us about like the technique or how to draw, how to paint. She just let us freely draw something, and give her homework. I remember that. So it's not really learn, it's just about you know something about drawing and painting. I think so. And also in Vietnam, we doesn't get a chance to learn arts in high school, or high school or secondary school. It's just like a small part of element of elementary school, primary school, or kindergartens. I remember that when I was in kindergarten, I have a lot of classes and lessons for art and drawing, you know, with a lot of paints and and I really enjoy that time. But like um when I got into primary school, you know, we only have like a week, one lesson, one art lessons a week. And I remember at that time the fact that I only get to draw uh, in one lessons 1 week. It really hurts my feeling.
Did you learn to draw or paint at school? Yeah, I did, but it wasn't really proper, structured learning. Art wasn't a compulsory subject at my school, it was more of a non academic class. The teachers never actually taught us any drawing or painting techniques. They just let us draw whatever we wanted and then handed it in as homework. So I wouldn't say I really learned how to do it properly. I just got to mess around with art a bit. Also, in Vietnam, we didn't get much of a chance to study art as we got older. It was mainly just a part of kindergarten and primary school. I remember having loads of art classes in kindergarten with lots of paints to use, and I absolutely loved that time. But when I moved up to primary school, we only had one art lesson a week. I was actually pretty sad about that back then. Only getting to draw once a week felt like such a letdown.
Question two: did you learn to draw or paint at school? I would say yes, but I don't think it was like proper or structured learning because arts isn't a compulsory subject. It's more like a non-academic class. So the teachers was actually not the teachers, they didn't teach us about drawing or painting techniques. They, most of the time just let us draw whatever we want, and handed it in like homework. So I think I wouldn't say that I got to learn a lot about arts at school. Most of the time I got to met around with arts a bit. Mm, and to be honest, in Vietnam, we didn't get much of a chance to learn arts as we got older because arts mainly just part of kindergarten and primary school. And I remember that when I was in kindergarten, I got lots of art lessons, art classes, and we also got lots of paint to use. And I was absolutely, in love with that time. But when I moved up to primary school, we only have, like one art class a week. And I was pretty sad back then. Okay, question three. What kinds of thing do you like to draw, paint? Do you even prefer drawing with? Question three. What kinds of thing do you like to draw, paint? In the past, I draw a lot, and it's especially in primary school and secondary school. I remember I did a lot of stories, and I I create characters. I also create plot and the story, and most of the story and the art is about love, and the drama, because at the time I was in love with that kind of thing. So I remembers my story is about, beautiful girls and also a handsome boy and the problems in their love story, and I would draw things like that. I not only just draw, but I also create the plot, the drama, the story between them, their family background. I draw a lot. I draw not only the character, the people. I also draw like flowers related to the story, flowers, subjects, things, object, house, everything related to the story, because I was a fan of Japanese manga. So, you know I think the story that I created is just like a way to, to stimulate that kind of thing that I read at home.
What kinds of things do you like to draw or paint? Well, when I was in primary and secondary school, I drew a lot, and
Drew a
most of my
lot.
works were tied to stories I made up myself.
I drew a
I'd
lot.
create characters, come up with plots, and build whole love and drama storylines because I was really into that sort of thing back then. My drawings usually featured pretty girls and handsome boys, along with all the little details that went with their love stories, like their family backgrounds and the problems they faced. I didn't just draw the characters, though. I'd also sketch all the things related to the story, like flowers, houses, and other objects that set the scene. I was a big fan of Japanese manga at the time, so making these story based drawings was kind of my way of imitating the manga I read at home.
Imitating. Mình quên mất từ đấy rồi đấy, trời ơi lâu không học. Nhớ rồi đấy. Okay. Well, and when I was in primary and secondary school, I drew a lot, and most of my works were tied to stories I made up myself. I would create characters, come up with plots, and build whole love and drama storylines, because I was really into that sort of thing back then. My drawing usually features pretty girls and handsome boys, along with all the little details that went with their love stories, like their family backgrounds and their problems they faced. I didn't just draw the character though. I also scratched all the things related to the story, like flowers, houses, and other objects that set the scenes. I was a big fan of Japanese manga at the time, so making these story-based drawings was kind of my way of imitating the manga I read at home. Imitate. Okay. What kinds of thing do you like to draw paints? Well, I did drew a lot when I was in primary and secondary school, and most of my painting are was tied to the stories that I made up by myself. I created characters, and I also came up with a lot of plots. Like I built the whole love and drama storylines, and I think because at the time I was really into that sort of things, and my stories always features pretty girls and handsome boys, along with all the details that went with their love stories, like their family backgrounds and the problems and the dramas that they have to face. And I also not just drew the characters, but I also scratched all the details and the things that related to their love story, like the flowers, the planes, the houses, other people's objects that set the scenes. And because at that time I was like a big fan of Japanese manga, so I think that creating that kinds of story-based drawings was like my kinds was like my way to imitate the things that I read at home. Okay. Do you prefer drawing with a pencil or painting with colors? Do you prefer drawing with a pencil or painting with colors? I think both techniques have their own benefits. Um, I I don't think that I can choose in that one because I enjoy drawing with a pencil and I also really enjoy painting with colors. Um, eh, eh, I I wouldn't give you the answers in these questions. I mean, drawing with a pencil, you can, you can draw like quick sketch, and it give you a lot of, freedom to, and also, help you in short time. You can sketch and you can create the structures of the thing that you want to draw. So draw with a pencil is very nice, and also very basic technique. And painting with colors, I think painting with color would take a lot of time, take more time than draw with a pencil. And in my opinion, and also in my experience, I did paint a lot with watercolor. I really love watercolor, you know. And when you draw with watercolor, you have to pay a lot of attention to control the, control the power of your hands and how you move the paints, so it would be a lot of harder than draw with pencil. But I mean, the results of watercolor painting is absolutely breathtaking. I really love it. So I mean, both of the techniques had, some drawback and also some benefits, and I would love to draw with both. And like usually when I draw something, I would like, use pencil to scratch, to create the structures, the basic scratching things. And when I finish, I use watercolor. Yeah, giải thế.
Do you prefer drawing with a pencil or painting with colors? I actually don't think I can pick a favorite. Both methods have their own unique perks, and I enjoy them equally. Pencil
Per-
drawing is great for quick sketches. It gives you so much freedom and lets you lay down the basic structure of whatever you want to create in no time at all. It's such a simple, fundamental technique that feels really intuitive to use. On the other hand, painting with colors, especially watercolors, which I love, takes a lot more time and effort. You have to be really careful with how you control your hand movements and the amount of water and paint you use, so it's definitely trickier than sketching with a pencil. But the end results are absolutely stunning, so it's totally worth the extra work. Usually, I like to combine both. I start with a pencil to map out the basic outline, then add watercolor to bring the piece to life.
I actually don't think I can pick a favorite, because both methods have their own unique perks and I enjoy them equally. Pencil drawing is great for quick sketches. It gives you so much freedom and lets you lay down the basic structures of whatever you want to create in no time at all. It's such a simple, fundamental technique that feels really intuitive to use. On the other hand, painting with colors, especially watercolor, which I love, take a lot more time and effort. You have to really careful with how you control your hand movements and the amount of water and paint you use. So it definitely trickier than scratching with a pencil, but the end result was absolutely stunning. So I mean, it's totally worth the extra work. Usually, I like to combine both. I start with a pencil to map out the basic outline and add watercolor to bring piece to life. Quick sketches. Give freedom. intuitive to use. Question 4. Do you prefer drawing with a pencil or painting with colors? Well, I think it's very hard for me to pick a favorite. I don't think I can give you a definite answer because I think both have their own unique perks and I enjoy them equally. And on the one hand, pencil drawing is really great for quick sketches, it's give you a lot of freedom and let you like lay down the basic structures of whatever you want to create in no time at all. So I think it's a very simple and fundamental techniques and it feels so intuitive to use. On the other hand, painting with colors, especially watercolor, which I love, take a lot of more time and effort. You have to really careful with how you control your hand movements and the amount of water and paint that you use because it can change the color. So it's definitely trickier than scratching with a pencil. But I mean, the end result is absolutely stunning, and I think it's totally worth the extra work. So normally I would combine the two methods. I would like to start with pencil to map out the basic outline, and then I will add watercolor to bring the piece to life. Okay, go great. Have you ever visited an art exhibition or gallery? Mhm. Have you ever visited an art exhibition or gallery? I would say yes. I mean, because I really like arts and I also have a good eyes for aesthetic things. So, I mean, visiting art exhibition or gallery is like a normal, activity that I would love to do with my friends. I remember that in my university years, I go to a lot of art exhibitions and galleries in Hanoi. Normally, once a month, and I take a lot of pictures, and I also, take time to read the instructions, and also search a little bit about the authors, to understand the meanings behind their creations. I mean, as for me, going to arts exhibition or gallery to witness the beauties of others, of stunning creations, of stunning artworks is like, you know, a useful way to cultivate your aesthetics, your sense of beauty.
Have you ever visited an art exhibition or gallery? Yes, I definitely have. Since I'm really into art and have a good eye for aesthetic things, visiting art exhibitions and galleries is an activity I absolutely love doing with my friends. I remember back in my university days, I used to go to quite a few of them in Hanoi, usually once a month. I'd take lots of photos, take my time reading the exhibition notes, and even look up a bit about the artist beforehand to better understand the stories and meanings behind their works. For me, going to these places isn't just fun. It's also a great way to appreciate the beauty of incredible artworks and nurture my sense of aesthetics.
Aesthetic. Aesthetic. Từ này khó đọc vãi. Aesthetic. 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 Sao giờ mình đọc được, sao giờ mình đã không đọc được nhỉ? Ây à. Okay. Aesthetic things. Aesthetics. Aesthetics. Question 5. Have you ever visited an art gallery, an art exhibition, or gallery? Yes, I definitely have, because I am really into arts and I have a good eyes for aesthetic things. So I mean, visiting art exhibitions or galleries was like a normal activity that I love doing with my friends. I remember back in my university days, I used to go to a few art exhibition and galleries, and we usually went to an art exhibitions like once a month in Hanoi, and I also took a lot of time to watch these artworks, and also take my time reading the exhibition notes, and also even look up a bit about artists beforehand, to better understand the stories and the meanings behind these artworks. For me, going to art exhibitions or gallery isn't just about fun. It's also a great way for me to appreciate the beauties of incredible artworks and also nurture my sense of aesthetics. Yeah, ok. Rồi, hôm nay tao học hết á. Lâu rồi không học lại. Ôi, lâu lắm rồi IELTS.